This is meteorologist Mark Molnar with an update on what we have here for upcoming into next week. I'm briefly going to show you the current aspects of how we're going to get there. We have this trough across the northeast with what's left of Sandy, and that you can see that spiraling around in southern Ontario and central Quebec up here, and that's eventually going to move its way out very slowly. But what I want you to focus your attention on is not all this cold air up here, although the cold air is hampering all the efforts to clean up after Sandy and the northeast, and that's not very good news considering we still have close to between 6 and 8 million people without power. But it's the west out here, this trough that's just come through the west here, and the west saw anywhere from, in the Pacific Northwest, anywhere from 2, 3, 4 inches of rain, especially along the coast here. No snow. It wasn't cold enough for snow. We saw a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust in Silver Lake here, but other than that, the system is now diving down towards California here, and it will continue to move towards the east, and it's carving out this trough here, which will eventually affect the eastern half of the country and help reinforce this later on next week. The much advertised, what the models are predicting, the ECMWF is now switched, and let's take a look at that. The ECMWF has switched further west now. You can see 144 hours out as a system right off the North Carolina coast, developing pretty quick, and then the 168-hour map showing it actually hugging the coast and moving over land in southern New England and strengthening to 980 millibars. That's fairly strong. Now keep in mind the Euro, the ECMWF, has actually predicted Sandy within 25 miles of its landfall point, literally 5 to 6 days out. So this model has been very good lately, so being that it's switched further west shows us that this model is becoming more confident in a possible nor'easter with interior accumulating snows for the first time this season in areas such as New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and heading up into New England, and rainfall along the coast. And what we don't want to hear is the possibility of some coastal flooding and beach erosion in areas that are really hard hit from Sandy here. So this is the area that we're going to watch over the next several days. The GFS is slightly more offshore and strengthens it to about a 984 millibar low just off the southern New England coast, east of Long Island and just south of Nantucket Island here. The GFS is actually further east now, which is kind of strange because the GFS was the model that was further west. The Euro was the further east model. Now the GFS is switching further east, and the Euro is in fact the Euro is much further west now, which would bring a steady soaking rain into southern New England and push the heavier axis of snowfall further westward as it's bringing down the cooler air. Let's take a look at 500 millibar heights. Right now, 500 millibar heights are showing this omega block over eastern North America and the North Atlantic. Look at 500 millibar heights 6 to 7 days from now. You can see that trough. It's almost like a negatively tilted trough. It's shaped like this. And you can see the 500 millibar heights bending up like this. That could actually promote this low to possibly retrograde, very similar to what Sandy did. So this is we're gonna continue to keep an eye on this. If we go back to the rest of the country, we have warm air that's going to help feed these troughs over the southern plains. This warm, moist air, and this is the start of something here, possibly for next week, as all this energy dives its way southward into the southeastern states, and that's where we're probably going to get into some trouble here. If we take a look at the rest of the weather, pretty much rather benign. Other than that, we're going to continue to watch for the possibility of that snowstorm in the northeast and possible nor'easter next week. More details day by day, and don't forget to visit my Facebook page, we're MeteoMark. That's our weather feed. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We have either 1 to 2 videos per day depending on how active things are. And also don't forget to visit my homepage at www.meteomark.com. For my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Elmira and in northern tier Pennsylvania, here's the 4-day forecast from Binghamton to Elmira and all points around and in between.